there we go. I got one button to work. All right. And there's a screen up for you. Cool. All right, guys, about a minute to the open. You know what to do. Wait for it. If it's too jumpy, it's not in your zone. You can't put risk on it. So wait for the price to come to you. Wait for your setups to come to you. Don't go chasing them. I wasn't here yesterday, but it looks like it was a lot of fun. First down, then up. And look at this. Just real quick before the market opens. Right at, what was it? 9. Yeah, you can see the opening right there. This was the opening session, the first half hour or so right here. And really, the move happened later. Isn't that something? So there you go. Don't get overexcited at the open. Wait for it. There's always bigger moves afterwards. Anyways, I see a lot of stuff on this chart we can talk about in a minute. For now, let's see real quick. We have this pre-market range. It's pretty tight. This is the ES or MES futures. And so going into the 1 minute, let's zoom it in. And for the opening few minutes, at least let's keep an eye on this. You can look for a breakout of the pre-market range. There you go. The market's open. There's your low down there. So far, it's in a downtrend. For you scalpers, a breakdown would make more sense than anything else right at the open. Breakdown of the support. Of course, further up, you have resistance. And then we'll see if it gets there. But that's what we have. We have a much tighter range right now, but I mean, this is a mess. You can't trade this. Cool. In the meanwhile, while we're watching the open, I will take a look at what's in the news. I have not paid attention to the markets at all since Thursday, so that's 4 days. It's been good to step away and go off the grid. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Jumping up off of the support area in the pre-market zone. But again, it's too early to get too excited about anything. Okay, here's the news, CNBC. I just go down this column. Let's see if there's anything worth looking at. Patriots owner, Hall of Fame controversy, jeweler, by volatile silver. So silver is on the move. We know that. Silver and probably gold along with it. Investor in real estate, apartment buildings. Jim Cramer again, making noise. Disney in the news, if you guys like Disney. You got some tickers you can look at. Things on the move. Disney as well. Rocket Companies shares. Okay, there you go. Mortgage loan volume surging. Yeah, that's interesting. The real estate market always creates some bigger term trading opportunities. What do we have? December deal volume 6. Well, I don't know what that is. There you go. Something about Snap. The world is on the brink of a capital war. Ray Dalio has been giving us this warning for 10 years. Oh, man. SpaceX, Palantir in the news. I'm sure you guys saw that with Sojit. There we go. Palantir, Merck, and Pfizer. All right. Nothing tremendously exciting. If anyone knows what's on the economic calendar, please do share. And let's see. All right. So now SPY went up, came back down. It's at this bottom of the pre-market zone where there has been support. It's in a downtrend most recently. So this is my instinct tells me get ready for the short, the breakdown to the short side, just about here. ORB down there goes, printed a new low. But again, scalpers, right? It's all for you scalpers. That's all you ever get at the open. But already you can see the ORB, the opening range is decently well defined. Kind of got the low, kind of got the high. You wait for the 5-minute ORB, more or less waiting for it to find momentum. What do we got here, Jill? Joel's jobs opening at 10 a.m. All right. Thank you. Jobs, huh? I haven't had a job in like 15 years, I think. You believe that? I show up here, talk with you guys, joke about candlesticks, make some money, lose some money. In the end, don't need a job. Works. It all works. There you go. Watch that breakdown. Watch that breakdown for you scalpers. If you're interested in such things. I see some bigger picture setups here, but we'll get into that in a minute. Let's look at a few other things as well. We got the MNQ, similar story to the MES. Got the Russell 2000. Look at that. Breakout to the upside makes sense. Previous day's high, well, overnight. What was that? Previous day's high. Yep, there it is. So you might be interested in a breakout previous day's high. So let's look at this. Yeah, so far, let's zoom in. So far, it's popped up and it's come back. And a bounce off of the pre-market high makes sense. If it does that, then continue on upwards. So this is interesting, the Russell 2000. I haven't seen anything in the news that would make it want to go, but candlesticks are king. Well, price action is king. Oil, no room to the left and no excitement, it seems. Gold, big run up, big run down. I still have these measured moves from a few weeks ago. Let's see, this is gold 30-minute chart. We have no room to the left. I really don't see anything. You're just looking that it's been moving up gently, break out to the upside with the excitement. It's not happening, so nothing really. Silver, also the same thing, no room to the left. So nothing interesting to look at here, except maybe the Russell and the SPY and the Qs, as far as futures are concerned, or the futures I'm looking at. Oh, there you go. We were talking about the breakdown, most likely, more than anything else, that's the likely scalp. So if you were involved in that, we got in, taken a partial, maybe 1 or 2, and stop out of break even. All of that done in about 2 minutes. This is why I don't like trading the open. Not anymore, at least. It's just too small. Too small, too volatile, too, I don't know, just can't trust it for the big moves, you know? And I keep telling you guys, the big moves are the ones that I tend to catch. In the New York session, I tend to catch them after about 11 or noon, around that time frame. Or even overnight, well, with the futures market overnight. Anyways, so this thing, with the bigger picture, generally going down, breaking out of the pre-market support zone, you get a little scalp, and it's come back in, you're stopped out, you're done with it. And now it's in a messy zone. Thing to play with. Anyone else got anything else you'd like to look at or share? Let me know. We can go through it. In the meanwhile, I'll let you know at 10 a.m., about 25 minutes, we have Nina is going to give us a very interesting presentation. She's got something to share that I'm sure a lot of you guys would love, because a lot of you have been asking me about such things, and I'm just too lazy to put it together. So, be ready for this one. You're going to like it.
Well, thanks for the introduction, Avi. I'm very excited to be here, and hi, everyone. It's like being in a video, but in real life, it's lovely.
Awesome. Good to have you. There you go. Now the SPY again getting down to the low of day, but I mean, can you trade this big candle? If you're looking at breaking low of day, if it does it right now, you get in short, would you put your stop up here, halfway? Look, it printed a new low, would you get in? This is not how I look at breakouts. They could easily go, it could easily not go. The risk is just too high for this. We know that momentum is generally to the downside, but it's too risky. Even for scalping, it's too risky.
Avi, what do you think about MCL at this moment? Because it's breaking out of its previous range and also doing a retest, but I'm not sure what you would say. So I'm asking you because I'm just a bloody beginner. MCL, yes.
MCL oil. All right, let's see. So if you're looking at a breakout, there's two things you need. One is you need a consolidation leading to a breakout, and the other thing is you need a breakout zone, which seems to be this resistance on the previous day right about there. So the breakout looks like it bounced off, broke out a little early and bounced off now. And then I go into the 1 minute chart, and let's see what we're getting into here. So looks like at the open, it bounced right off of what we identified as a breakout zone on that 30-minute chart, if you're able to identify the long here. Other than that, right here, pre-market resistance area where it is pushing above right now. So that's your breakout zone in a smaller picture. And it did a little consolidation before the breakout, so it could be good. But here's the thing about breakouts, especially early in the day, early in the New York session, they happen pretty aggressively fast. And this thing has already been sitting here and not happening fast. This is behaving like most things behave in the pre-market. There isn't a lot of excitement, even without looking at the volume bars. There just isn't a lot of excitement here to make this thing go. So it seems a little risky. You can see this thing even gapped up on a 1-minute chart.
Right.
So I would stay away from this right now. I just don't see the conviction on this. It should be moving. You see how the MES, we've been watching this thing move. You can see it's kind of smoother with the movement. This MCL on the 1-minute chart, it's just kind of jerky.
Right.
If you're trading the open, you don't want to play with jerky price action. It's like playing with low floats.
Right.
And there's a way to make money out of this, but this is a dangerous moment in time to touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I don't touch. And basically, these days, I don't touch anything at the open anymore. It's not worth the trouble. What we got? Yeah, Mohit, go ahead.
Hey, Abby. Good morning. Not for you. So if you can just go through the silver 30-minute chart futures. You mentioned more in the morning when you were just briefly looking at it, said there's no room to the left. But isn't this like a resistance zone that it is currently breaking and retesting? Wouldn't that be a nice place to look for a breakout? Like, I just wanted to understand your perspective of when you said there is no room to the left. How far are you going in this scenario?
Yeah. So if you look at it right now, just on this 30-minute chart, room to the left, to me, in this case, especially right now, you can see where it's just kind of been hanging around here. A lot of candles that haven't gone anywhere. They're just overlapping each other. They're playing in each other's zone. Each candle is playing in the same zone as the previous candle. It's not making a genuine new high or genuine new low. It's not doing any of that truly exciting activity. Now, this is the resistance you're talking about, I think, right here. It's interesting. It did pop out and it's popped right back in where it was just overlapping candles. So inside of here, even it's just about above it right now. I wouldn't touch it. I really wouldn't touch it. Then you have this most recent resistance. Now, if it gets above there, so that would be a breakout. In that case, you'd look at a retest and maybe off you go. Also, in the same zone, looking to the left, you have this resistance. So it's right about in the same area, right? The breakout may well be happening. You can see in a bigger perspective, this is firm resistance. It goes up to it, and it does a pullback, a nice cup shape, and then the cup and handle pattern that we all know. It could all happen, but it's way too early right now. If it gets up to, let's say, 90, somewhere in this zone perhaps, then I'll wait for a retest and see if it really goes, if it wants to set up and go. And then you're looking for, well, clean price action, really. But this, I mean, look at this. All these candles, they've made moves. They've gone up, they've gone down. But can you actually trade this? I don't see any of this as tradable. There's wicks on both sides and a lot of this, and the candles have, a lot of them just overlapping each other. And that behavior hasn't really changed. The candles have just gotten smaller, but the behavior hasn't changed. So wait for it to really get into some clear space, which is up here in this zone. Let's call it 90 and above. Then you've got real room to the left, and it was here, it was smooth. Look at that, it went down, aggressive moves, right? So it gets up here, it could perhaps put in an aggressive move again.
And then, so let's say if it goes higher into a more cleaner area, would you wait for a 30-minute candle to close on a 30-minute chart, or would you, once it prints a new high, move over to the 1 minute and look for an entry?
In this case, I'd look into the 1 minute right away. If it just prints a new high up here, I'll look into the 1 minute, because the way I'm seeing this is all a 30-minute consolidation, which could then lead to a breakout. Consolidations lead to breakouts. And so then I'm going to catch the 1 minute break and retest, ideally, if it happens. And then you're getting into this coin.
All right. All right. Thanks, Em.
Sure. Fun stuff. What do we got here? So you've got YM looking better. That's the Dow Jones. And PLTR could have a short below 162. All right, take a look at those guys. I don't have those on my charts, but there you go. We got something fun to look at. Silver, yeah, look at that. Yeah, for my style of trading, this is just not, that's not there. And there you go. Let's go back to the MES. We're looking at the pre-market range, break down to the downside, and yeah, sure enough, it's happening. But just as we were talking about with silver, this is the MES, and look at this. I mean, can you trade this? I mean, I used to. I just don't want to anymore. It's not worth the trouble. You got the downtrend. I mean, one tricky way, which is it's in the downtrend, so catch the pullback. So when it pulls up and you can find that it's found resistance, making a lower high, you try and enter in this area somewhere, if you have a method for that. The other way is to catch the breakouts, which is more my style of doing things. But this is nothing. This is not worth trading. Let's look at the cues on the 30-minute. Okay, that one went so far, going right through pre-market support zones. Let's have a look on the 1 minute. That's actually a fair bit cleaner, isn't it? Yeah, there you go. You got your opening range. Basically, the 1 minute candle set it up. The second minute drop right through it. Here, we can do it this way. There's your first minute. There's your second minute drop through it. The third minute, it retested the bottom of the first candle. Look at that. That's interesting. There's your break, retest. It all happened within 30 seconds or so, which is quite normal at the open. And then it starts to move. Similar kind of retest. But anyways, if you're entering in this zone, your stop's up here. And there we go. That one wants to move, huh? So if you were to catch this one, scalping again, not my style, but if you were to catch it, go back to the 30 minutes, find a target. That may be a place to take a partial, but I'm looking to the left and I'm trying to find where we're buyers. Here we have some aggressive buyers. That's further down. You have some aggression here where it is right now. That would have been a target zone. Yeah, so you have this one and then further down. If it really wants to continue, you have this aggressive buyer way down at the bottom of this candle, which probably will take some time to get there if it goes. There you go. Got one little setup. Wasn't looking at it, but there it is. I bet PLTR is looking similar to this, is it? Those of you who are looking at it. Shorts. And the Russell. Yeah, well, yeah, we were looking at the Russell now. See, it's at the high of the previous day. Let's go to the 1 minute on 30 minute, 1 minute on the Russell. So very messy, right? You're looking for the breakout right about in this zone, basically a high of day break on the 1 minute chart, which is again complicated price action. Here's an interesting little clue. You have a high and then a lower high so far with lots of wicks. So these sellers are taking over. These candles are telling you that it is not somewhere where you'd look for a breakout to go up. So here you have a 30-minute chart. It printed a new high and you're thinking breakout to the upside. Sure, fair enough. But then you zoom into the 1 minute and it's not doing it. So you don't take it. So when you have a conflict there, you don't take it. Again, that's the fractal pattern strategy that I've used for years. You need to see the setups on both time frames, the same direction. In this case, long, you need to see it on the 30 and on the 1, and then maybe you're allowed to put some risk on. So for now, nothing there. Wait for it. Just wait for it. And what happened? We were looking at silver, not gone to that high yet. Gold. Gosh, I got to get rid of these indicators. These lines, they're old. Let's see, the cues, yep. So cues went to the short, finding buyers, pretty much where we had looked at. Yeah, there you go. Look to the left and see what came down, big buyers right there, and sure enough, that's where it found buyers. So this is a simple way of having targets. Again, here's my real problem with scalpers at the open. People get in all excited scalping, jump into heavy positions, tight stops, ideally tight stops, and then start taking partials as it goes in your favor. But you hardly ever make money doing that. If you really want to make money, even in scalping, you want to have a target in mind. If you have a target in mind, then you don't take partials until it gets to your target. It's as simple as that. So in this case, if you were to scalp this one going short, well, you have your target. You have this one here and you have this one further down. You would have had your, taking your profits down near the bottom of the move so far. Look at the 1 minute. That would have meant if you're doing a 1 minute ORB, you would have entered in this area. 5 minute ORB, you probably enter in this area. And there's your target. now you're actually making 5R or something in that range. If you're not making 5R, or if your trade book doesn't allow 5R trades regularly, go find some other job, man. You can't make money doing this. Go do something else. Because it's the only way to really make money. Make your winners big, your losers small. So this one was, I think, a very good example of how that's done.
Russell just printed a new high.
Did it? Oh, yeah. Not just a new high. Holy crap. Rip. Why are you so late on the callouts, man? All right, anyways, now it's going up to this next resistance area. Look at that. Should have had an alert set up over here, huh? At the high of previous day. Anyways, let's look into the 1 minute. There you go. So we were saying it was a lower high in this area. You can see it was lower highs. So don't touch it. But then when it printed a new high, that's when you know the buyers are buying higher. So off it goes. So high, and then maybe you see this as a retest area very fast. And off it goes. It could still come back and retest. So it's still in the game. You're still in the game if you didn't catch it. So you want to try and catch it in this zone, basically, if it comes back. Targets, I would look to the left again. You have these obvious resistance areas. Looks like it's very close. Tricky area to play with. You have these areas right here, and then further up. That high and that high. You're just looking at where sellers were most recently. And so you expect them to be there again. And sure enough, you hit a target. Like, let's say you got this long and you hit the target. If you take your position off, great. But if it wants to run further, you can put the size back on, right? That's recycling your position. No big deal. You can manage your risk doing that. That's a good way to go if it's continuing to run through all your targets. No problem doing that. You're basically risk-free anyway. The whole point is getting a good entry, becoming risk-free, moving your stop in, and then you're just managing profits, really, unrealized profits.
And Avi, if it breaks through this resistance zone again, would you enter here for the next resistance?
Yeah, perhaps. If, let's say, right here in this zone, if it gives me another breakout setup, so it'd be an ascending wedge, ABCD pattern, something of that nature, and I can catch the breakout and retest on the 1 minute about here, then catch it and go up for the next resistance zone, which is up in this area.
Okay.
And I've done this many times, many times. You guys have seen me do this. It's a good way to go if you're very truly actively managing trades, especially with options, the way I used to trade options. Yeah, you got to do that. You can see all the options trades I've done. Pretty much all of them have recycled positions in them. With futures, I don't see myself doing that so much. But with options, yeah, especially with the zero DTE stuff, right? You got to take your partials and de-risk and then add back in later. All that fun. It's a good way to go. It's a good way to go if you're actively managing it. It is complicated if you're not so familiar with reading price action. But the more confidence you get with reading price action, the more you can recycle positions. And also, if you want to have that lifestyle of watching the charts all day, sitting here and watching it and recycling, so that's on you. I'm just moving away from all that stuff. More and more and more. All right. Fine. Cool. All right, guys. A few minutes from now, about 5 minutes from now, Nina's going to take over and share some information with you that you're going to love. And I promise you will never bother me again. No more messages. Oh, yeah, blew up. What do I do? Oh, shit. No. Stop messaging me. All right. What happened here with the MES? 1 minute chart, great big disaster. Forget about it. And then Q, still hanging around where it hit some buyers. Let's see on the 1 minute. That's interesting. Would you see this as a reverse ABCD continuing to move down? Or is this a double bottom looking to go long? What do you guys think? Many ways to look at this. This is a key level. We know that right about down here. Any guesses? No? Yes? No? No, you're all busy over trading, losing money.
It made a new high, so sorry, new low, a higher low. Sorry.
Higher low. Okay, so what does that mean?
Nothing. Waiting for a new high print, and maybe that's a reverse.
Yeah, it's tricky. It's a good one because it's tricky because overall, again, go to the 30-minute, you had this consolidation, then a breakup straight down, right? And it's hit a place where we've seen buyers before, right here. But we also know these buyers were not tremendous because look at that. After those buyers took over, they still made lower highs. That's interesting, right? So I'm going to struggle to trust the buyers down here. And on a 30-minute chart, I'm not seeing any sort of reversal pattern. I mean, on a 30-minute down here, look at this, went down, and here you have some reversal activity. You get these hammers down here. Here, what do you have on this 30-minute candle? Straight down. Bigger picture, I'm not trusting the long, even though on the 1 minute, this could have been a decent double bottom. Now it doesn't look like it. But just because of the 30-minute, where'd it go? 30-minute, just because of the 30-minute, straight down, and it's not really in a massive turnaround area. The big turnaround area is down here or even down here. These are like intermediate levels, really. So good reasons not to think about a reversal right about in here. And where'd it go? 1 minute chart. Yeah, look at that. Now it's printing a new low, break of low day. Yeah, there you go. So just looking bigger or thinking bigger, zooming out will keep you out of these messy positions. How many people blew up in the last 4 minutes trying to catch a reversal? Raise your hands. I bet I could go on YouTube now and be 1,000 people raise their hands. Check that out.
Isn't that too close to be a double bottom?
Yeah, it's not ideal, but hey, look at this. See this? Let's go zoom back. It went down. Okay, you know you have a level there. Started to push up. Okay, you're thinking there are buyers. And then when it comes back down again, it does have some space between this bottom and then where it started to come back down. You can see this arch in the middle, just like those old arches in ancient Roman architecture, just like that. So you have a bit of it. It's not ideal, but it's there. Then for a real double bottom to be complete, you want a single seriously bullish candle, which you get right here. Then the entry is a new high after that candle. For the way I'd like to do it, new high is entry right there. Stop ideally below the bottom, and off you go up. But it didn't give us that new high. So on this 1 minute chart, just if I was looking purely at the 1 minute, it was almost there. The setup was there. The confirmation was not. The confirmation is a new high. So don't take it. But even before all that, again, the 30-minute, just not there. But I think the double bottom scenario looking like this, the setup is there. If I see a setup like this on a 30-minute, oh man, I'll stay up all night trying to get this one. It's there. Cool. All right, what do we got? Last couple of things here. So just got Google, buyers fine, buyers at PDH. People say it's high. Okay, cool. Google, look at that. Tarek's into gold. Bounce. So let's look at gold. We haven't looked at it much. There we go. These old levels, I just ignore these. No, I gotta find a way to delete stuff. I'm changing the platform soon anyway, so whatever. Gold, what are you looking at, Tarek? You're long on gold? This is the gold 30-minute chart. MGC. Looking at Oliver as well. Man, you guys are real gold bugs, huh? Oliver and Tarek. Every day we come on, you're talking about gold. Bounce here, 49.18-ish. 49.30. 49.30 is overhead. Oh, right down here. This is a 30-minute chart, so I don't see much. Let's go to the 1 minute. All right, I see what you see. Cool. I like trading these commodities, but I'm becoming more and more aware that they're not always in play like the S&P 500. So, there's got to be something in the news that makes it want to really rip. And those are the situations where you can really nail in beyond 10-hour trades. When you have news on commodities, oil and gold and silver. We saw a bit of that last week. Anyways, cool. Catch it your way. And it's there. All right, guys, I'm going to stop sharing here. I'm going to get ready for Nina to bring out her screen and start sharing with you what you guys have been asking me for the last 3 freaking years.
Well, yeah, thanks, Avi.
Yeah, sure.
I want to share my screen right away.
Yes, go ahead. It's all yours, Nina. Take it away.
Thank you. Well, just imagine Avi's not here and you see the quality double bottom, which we just saw, and you just can't remember how to execute. Well, this is the situation I've been in a few times during the last couple of months. So over the last couple of months, every time Avi explained a trade, a mistake, a rule, or a mindset shift in one of his videos, I wrote it down. Not to teach or to publish, just to support my personal learning curve, because I started paper trading, I think, 10 months ago. So still pretty new to the game. However, now Avi and I said that it would be a shame if only I could utilize all these notes. So we decided to make them accessible to all of you. And you can find them already as of today in our forum under Nina's notes. Feel free to leave comments should something in the notes be not clear yet. Very happy to collaborate on this. And also a little disclaimer, because I really know this is not 80-20 at all. But let me tell you, this is my personal way of process information, also during the writing process. I've been an academic editor before. And for you, actually, guys, for all of you, it's 80-20, because you have all the information that Avi has shared in his videos summarized in this very document. And I want to use a couple of minutes to walk you through it so you know where to find which information, should you need it at one point, should you have forgotten something, or just need a little bit of inspiration. Because as you see here on this very first page, I've summarized a lot of quotes that Avi has shared in all of his videos. And not only that, you can also see you have the sources there, the links to the videos, should you need more context. And here, this one fits the topic pretty well. I think survive the learning curve. This is what I'm currently doing, and I hope for some of you, maybe not for all, but for some of you, this is also helpful. Let me maybe share the most exciting tabs first, namely the ones that probably, hopefully, show us how to make money. And this is the very first one I wanted to share with you, because here I summarized everything Avi has shared so far around naked trading and fractal patterns. So as you can see, here's a lot of information. And if you ever forget what naked trading entails, what is needed for that, you can see the 3 steps it takes to that, as Avi has explained it to them. Define horizontal levels, wait for setups at these levels, ensure there's plenty of room to the left. All of this comes with all the explanations Avi has shared in his videos. Same goes for fractal patterns. What is it? How is it executed? What do you be careful? What do you have to be careful about? What do you need to look out for? And as you can see here, I've also included all the screenshots Avi has shared, or at least the ones I think are really helpful for understanding. And I've also added all the marks and the key levels, and so we really understand what is written there and what Avi has explained. Now, for those of you who really practice naked trading, I know there's a lot of indicators on these screenshots. I'm sorry for that, but this is just due to the fact that these screenshots are actually a bit older already, a few weeks or months old, and people still had indicators on their charts back then, but we don't have these anymore. Of course, just so you're aware, naked trading without indicators, but they're Avi celebrating, yes. I'm happy for that, Avi. Yeah, you can see quotes everywhere here. So everything that sounds really smart here is because Avi has said it before. So all the credits for this go to him, of course, just to be clear. I've just summarized it. You also find a lot of examples in these notes, which you can explore further. Links are here for all your different setups. Again, screenshots with explanations, everything Avi has shared for you to look up. Best practice is just to use the search function for your key term, and very likely it's in the document. At least if it's linked to naked trading and fractal patterns, of course. Everything else are excluded. I also had this, but this is in a different document, not relevant for us anymore. This is my favorite tab, the Execution 101. And I think I could also have named this section Avi's Playbook, because from what I got from the videos, at least since a few weeks or months ago, this is how Avi used to trade. But Avi, please correct me if I'm wrong or add to it. Basically, we have 3 sections: breakouts and retests, continuations and reversals. from time to time, as you can see here, I've added some additional information just for myself because I'm a very beginner still and I'm still learning. For example, here the difference between continuation and breakout, wasn't sure back then, added it here. So you will find such shorter explanations also. You will find answers to relevant questions that have been asked, partly also by you guys in the videos, summarized here, partly with screenshots. And what's pretty cool, I have to say, because Avi is one of the only trading mentor I know who really explains trades in the moment they are executed and not afterwards, like enter here, exit there. Well, that's easy, but I've included those screenshots where it's like in the moment, what do you have to do when you see the setups, which is great. I think you don't get this anywhere else, but only in Avi's videos. Yeah, then we get through all the execution, how to get your levels if you want to draw them on your canvas. Then, of course, breakout and retests, main strategy, one of Avi's main strategies. We talked about it before. We see where to enter, where to exit, what to wait for, what to look out for, consolidation before the breakout. All of this stuff is written down here for you to look up if you want, if you're not sure at one point. Again, a lot of questions. Also, like specific, like are there criteria for the size of the body? What can I do if I always get stopped out of the break? Even if the stock consolidates after the retest, will you still enter? Like all of these questions, I think especially are very interesting for beginners or a bit more advanced people, traders, but still. Again, all the screenshots, I'm going to scroll a bit down further. You can take a look at this later if you want. Oh yeah, ascending, descending wedges, how to trade them, what they should look like, what they should not look like. Then we have the continuation setups. Continuation after short consolidations, Avi explained in one of the videos. Oh yeah, here I included Avi's answer on YouTube to one of my questions. Also saved here for eternity, so it doesn't get lost. Consolidation with hammer candle in trend direction, also Avi explained once. And when you see these trading view screenshots, these are my personal ones. And I'm sorry for the colors. I've changed them in the meantime. But yeah, this is what I used to trade because I like the Miami vibe of these colors, but not anymore. It occupies our brain too much. So sorry for that. Cup and handle pattern if you're interested in such setups. 3-bar plays, of course, and how to execute them properly. And last but not least, reversals, long tail hammers, preferably on the 30 minutes chart, how to execute them, where to enter, and so forth. And engulfing candles on the 30-minute charts. We also have these. And last but not least, quality double tops, double bottoms. Similar to the one we saw before, but on the 30 minutes chart. Right. Each execution requires a great risk management. So, of course, I've also written down notes on this. And this is the only tab, I'm sorry for that, Avi, but I think you will be fine with this, where I left some of the information from other YouTube videos just because I thought they were interesting. Because here, I think it explains very well the randomness, which in the end is the base of the whole trading. I think we should be very much aware of that. Nothing is written in stone here. Yeah. And then here also, what is R? When at the very beginning, I wasn't sure what R is. It was very abstract. So how big is R? Is it always the same size? And then leading to that, executing is symmetry. This is, by the way, only Avi content here and below. How big is R? And understand your win rate. I've seen recently someone posted a screenshot or a picture of this win rate versus R ratio and which win rate you need when you have this and that R. This is here also, if you want to look it up in a bit more detail. It's just the basics, but I think it's good to have them. Reading through them once and then you know them anyway. These are the most important tabs, I think. Here, you find some groundwork, I called it, because as I said before, I was a beginner only 10 months ago, so I wanted to know what I'm doing behind what I'm doing. So actually, I wanted to know the context in which we're operating when we trade. So I researched a bit financial market basics. What are assets, asset categories? What are futures? What are options? All of this stuff. Financial markets, stock market prices, how do they emerge? What are the parameters stock markets are influenced by? Yeah, I think this is just good to know, but not essential for trading, of course. Here, chart basics, also from very basic to a bit more advanced. Gaps between candlesticks, chart patterns, candlestick patterns, as Avi has explained them in his videos. How to identify candlestick patterns. This one I remember very well because it was one of the first videos I saw from Avi where he explained in very much detail that patterns like hanging man, dojo, or hammer only can interpret it in the way they are interpreted when the context is right. So I remember this very much. All of the detailed explanations step by step. Here again, some indicators, and sorry for that, we don't need them anymore. Yeah, lots of stuff regarding candlestick and chart patterns. And here, just a small section on technical indicators, because I found it interesting that indicators only reflect the past, maybe the present and the future. Yes, they try to predict them. Yeah, quite interesting, I found. And this one is one I added only recently. It's been from Tarek's one-on-one about futures. Very interesting also, because I switched to futures trading after meeting Avi in Dubai, and he recommended it to us, which is great. So you also have this one here. And let me say this, I'm adding to this document as I'm evolving further. And also Avi's trading is ever changing, of course, because also his trading is evolving. So I'm adding to it and removing outdated information at one point, probably, or I just leave it and add it to it. Probably better. The last two tabs, very interesting trading psychology, everything Avi has shared, from daily routine, also when it comes to healthy eating, to sleep routine, to having a training routine, all of this that leads to good trading. Again, some inspirational quotes. You can put them on a poster on your wall if you want. Thoughts on evolution and the flow state by Csikszentmihalyi. Avi also has shared once. Thoughts on hold and hope. Don't marry a trade ever. Love it. Thoughts on greed, scarcity mindset versus abundance mindset. What was it again? It keeps coming up in Avi's videos. He's saying it, I think, in every video, like that the market is a gold mine. I think we all know this quote. Thoughts on safety, running for safety, right? Trading trauma, very interesting one. This could actually be linked also to the key levels in the execution tab. Maybe I'm going to do this. Trading trauma, like the traumatic levels. Also, someone has mentioned them in a recent video. Thoughts on overwhelm. You need the majority of your energy, your cognitive capacity to manage RR and your emotions well. So the colors are not the best idea. I know that now, so I changed them. And last but not least, here are some questions that Avi is asking us regularly, also today with a double bottom in his videos. And I've written them down just to train myself a bit on them and scroll through them and try to answer them when I want to. So yeah, I'm happy to share this document with you. Maybe one or the other finds it's useful. Please let me know if anything is missing, if anything is not very clear yet. Otherwise, happy to share it and happy to collaborate in the future with all of you. Well, thank you.
This is great, Nina. Thank you so much. Brilliant, brilliant. Like I said, guys, this is something I would never do. I don't like writing, but you got it, Nina. Brilliant. So when I saw this, I figured you guys need this. So while we've got Nina here, thanks again, Nina. While we've got her here, you guys have any questions about this, or where to access it, or anything about it? Here's your chance.
Yeah, I have a question, if it's okay. Hi, Nina. Nice to meet you, first of all. The first question is, are you trading live or are you still in sim?
I'm still in sim, unfortunately,
Okay,
but I'm taking my time. I think 10 months is okay. I hope so, but I cannot wait to trade live. But yeah, I have to practice patience.
yeah, that's great. Because I think I had another question, but I forgot. I'll get you back. I'll get back to you on that.
Sure.
Awesome. Yeah, Tarek, go ahead.
Nina, thank you very much. That's very comprehensive, everything. I wish I did that when I started trading. That would put me like have a much more shorter journey than what I had. And thank you very much for being so generous, sharing it with everybody. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, thank you, Tarek. Also, thanks for saying that you would have been faster if you did it, because sometimes I'm not sure, but as I mentioned, it's my way of dealing with things and I'm doing it like this. But yeah, thanks for the confirmation. This is, of course, reassuring.
I had the monkey brain, so I was trying to push everything as fast as possible. But I wish I had your wisdom to take my time, set everything up, take my time learning. That you're on the right track. You'll be digging the gold mine very soon.
Hopefully. Thank you, Tarek. That's so nice of you. I really have the feeling I'm nearly there, but not quite. But having now you and the community, it's amazing. I think this will make a difference. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, Nassim, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I remembered my question. I just wanted to know, like, what do you think has to happen, and how will you know that you're ready? Like, is that a feeling, or is that something that you're going to see in your statistics that you're going to look at and say, okay, now I'm ready? Thank you.
That's a really interesting question. So I really do have the feeling I'm ready. I think I've made a major step a few days or weeks ago, just my mindset shift with the patience, with looking at charts and not doing anything. This was a major step for me. So I really have the feeling I am there. It's just not reflected in the P&L, which I'm tracking yet. And I know P&L is like not the most important thing, but in the end, it is, of course. But I really do have the feeling I'm there. The good thing is my boyfriend is also in this community. We're doing this together. So we have our little trading hub at home. So I'm having now this community, and then we're talking about trading a lot at home. So I really have the best circumstances, I think, for this mindset switch to being a trader, despite having a job on the side. But I'm working remotely, which is great, which gives me flexibility in how I structure my day. Wow.
Yeah, awesome. Good stuff. It's important to have a good environment when you're learning something like trading and when you are trading. Of course, we discussed this plenty, but having a good environment, and also good question on going live. When do you know you're ready? It's hey, let me tell you, I'm in the sim right now, and I've traded live for I don't know how many years, close to a decade. I don't even know, but I'm doing sim time right now just because I'm trying to figure out something. And people have asked me also recently, when are you going to go live? I don't know. I haven't got a clue. If I don't go live this year, it doesn't even matter. As far as jumping into trading is concerned, I've made that mistake before, and I blew up back in 2019, 2020. But yeah, going live, there's a few things that got to come together. Firstly, your ability to execute what you say you're going to execute. That's your strategy. And then I think what's more important is just your level of confidence in yourself, your ability to trust yourself to do it all the time. And even trust yourself where you know you're not fit to trade on a particular day, and don't show up. But just because you're addicted to the markets or trading or anything like that, you show up and you're just doing the wrong thing. You might get lucky, and that's even worse, because in the long term, that sets you up for blowups, really bad ones. So that's a good one, knowing when to go live. It takes a bit, and it's not a precise thing. There's some emotion involved in it as well. And we're human beings, we're emotional creatures. We have to acknowledge our emotions as well. So good stuff. All of you guys are looking about when to go live, or even if you are live, when to size up. It's all the same, really. You gotta firstly have the statistics and make sure you're doing it correctly, but then also your levels of confidence in your ability to trust yourself and be able to take losses and realize it's no big deal. All of that comes into the picture. So, good stuff, guys. Very good. Cool. Anyone else got questions for Nina? How this is on all this stuff.
Where we can find the documents.
Yes, it's already linked in the forum in our Discord channel. Let me quickly check what it's called. I mean, it's one of the first 3 tabs, I think, right, Avi?
Yeah. So it's in our forum under Nina's notes, and you can download the document there. And I guess whenever you have an update, just let me know, or just upload the new one.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Can you see this? No. Well, here it is, the first one in the forum discussion.
From discussion.
Yeah.
There you go. So good stuff. I think I'm going to start looking at that just because I need to remind every once in a while of what trading is all about. Sometimes I go off into the desert for 2 or 3 days and I forget about the markets. I come back like, what is all this?
Yeah,
so, or
anything that you've said in a video. I'm pretty sure you don't remember everything because no human would be able to do that. So feel free.
Fantastic. Good stuff. Good. All right. Very good. Thanks a lot, Nina. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Cool. All right. And next, guys, the next thing we'll probably do it next week. I haven't talk to anyone about it yet. But Martin, when you're ready, we got to figure out when to bring you in and share with everyone what is the impact of health on trading, and then really how to take care of that. That's your expertise, right? That's going to be powerful when we bring that in. It's one of the biggest things I did for my trading stuff. Yeah, next week. Cool. Very good. Thanks. All right, let's get a screen back up here real quick. There we go. You guys should have the charts back up here on the screen. And I was just noticing something very interesting on the cues right down here. If you remember, a few weeks ago, I was talking about this sort of strategy where you're observing a consolidation. This is not really a consolidation. It is, but kind of grinding upwards. And then you're identifying when does it break out. It happened at the bottom of this candle where the buyers came in and took a rip, right? So I'm identifying buyers there. I put a level right there, put an alert right there, and then wait for the price to get back there and see if the buyers are still there. And sure enough, today, they're there right now. This is a 30-minute chart. Look at the 1 minute. This is the level right about here. And you can see it's been in a firm downtrend. And now these buyers seem to be in the market. I don't trust any pattern right here for a reversal long on a 1 minute chart. You can see what's happening. The behavior has changed completely. It's a bit of a struggle now between buyers and sellers. And what I'd really like to see is, well, a clear reversal pattern, like a double bottom, which it doesn't look like it's going to happen. But on the other side of it, a continuation of a reversal where, in this case, you'll have this whole area where it's just choppy and messy. I'd like it to get up to here, this local resistance, consolidate ascending wedge on a 1 minute chart and catch the breakout from there, or the break and retest up in this area. And then you're going back up to first target will be here, and then further up. So this is an interesting zone on the MNQ. Keep an eye on it. So again, it's there on the 30, but it's not there on the 1. So the entry isn't there, not yet. I'd wait for more confirmation. Good stuff to look at.
So you look at 30 and you look at 1, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The fractal patterns, yeah.
You don't like 15 that much?
No, kind of got lost in the 15 and the 5, man. The 5 screwed me up. The worst.
I see a lot of setups when I look at the 15. I do look at 30, but I feel like at that point when I see that it's close to like bottoming, I try to look at 15, and sometimes it gives me very good setup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if you're able to see it, there's no wrong time frame to trade, right? If you're able to see it, interpret it, manage risk on it, manage reward on it, sure, use it. You know, the most popular is pretty much the 60-minute chart, the daily and the 60. And I played with both of those over the years, and I landed up on the 30, the most unpopular number, the most unpopular time frame. Nobody really talks about it. Nobody really is interested in it. But I found that I was able to just interpret it. It made sense. It wasn't too big that it was out of context for day trading. It wasn't so small that you end up with tiny moves. It just, the way my mind is calibrated, I guess, it's been making a lot of sense. And I've been with it for, what, 3 years, I think. So, but, this is just independent thinking that landed me here. So again, if you like the 15, there's nothing wrong with it. There's no wrong way to trade except a way where your losers are bigger than your winners. That's the only way you don't trade. So the 15 works for you. Yeah, use it. And there we go. Now we're having a break of the low here on MNQ. So the buyers I was talking about that potentially were in here, well, they're not powerful enough. The sellers are still in charge. Break of low of day happening now on MNQ. There's a 30-minute chart. On the 1 minute, it's a lower highs, and you have that obvious bottom, and here's your breakout. On a 30-minute, it's very hard to trust. I'd like to see a consolidation leading to a breakout. It's more my style. And what we have, yeah, that's a low there a couple days ago. Anyways, generally very weak. So there you go.
Would you take the short at 2,600 or is it 26,000? 26,000.
26, 20, what?
Okay, that's right. Yeah, up there in that region. Would that be a good short for you, or it's not your setup?
So as it gets up to 26, let's go zoom back a little. 26 is up here. And yeah, you can see there's resistance here. There's sellers here, right? So it's an area you might think there are sellers. And as it gets up there, I want to see a massive reversal setup. So this looks like it's just small candles. If I see a big reverse hammer, there's a potential. I don't see anything. It's just purely consolidating. After a move up, consolidating, and actually it's grinding upwards, higher lows. So that gives me more of an indication for a breakout. But I'd be careful with the overhead sellers. And nothing to tell me here. It broke this local high, but really just stuck in this resistance zone. It's very hard to trust to go long, even though all this is telling me long. And then let's see, now it's pushing back into this consolidation. Nothing to tell me to go short because it's just going back into where it was choppy. There's a reverse hammer, but no room to the left. It's in the middle of all this chop. And there you go, bullish engulfing. A lot of you guys like this. I don't like this one at all, but it's all happening inside of chop. So far, nothing to tell me to go long or short. Then, all right, so the 30-minute happened. The only way I would trade this is thinking about a breakout of support. So you have a breakout here, which probably happened too early in the day. You have it here. You have it here. You have some major support areas with the lower highs as the 1 minute candles start going down through these areas. Perhaps finding a reverse ABCD here would make sense, because once you're through this, these buyers here, you got plenty of smooth activity all the way down. So let's look at it here about, what is this, 25,820? Where are we looking? In this area, 820, yeah, just about here. So it comes out, comes down and basically pushes up. Here's your reverse ABCD. Again, catching the breakout. I would rather wait for the retest, which never happened. So unless I entered on the breakout, that would be an entry about this candle here with a stop somewhere up above it on a 1 minute chart. You're in it. I wouldn't have caught this. No, I don't think so. I don't think I would have entered anywhere here. Not likely. And the retest would have been really where I put on the real risk. So overall, looking at this, it doesn't look like something I would be involved in. Very unlikely. But you can see what's leading to these breakouts. I'll show this to you on the 1 minute here. You have these lower highs and the support here, right? Lower highs leading to a breakout. Makes perfect sense. Then you go to the 30-minute. What do you have? Lower highs here and here led to a breakout, 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 all with lower highs. So these, I always like to say it's not just a consolidation that leads to a breakout, but the quality of the consolidation that leads to the breakout. That's really important. So I like to see a quality consolidation. And this one, basically, the quality is it's putting in lower highs, indicating it's likely that the sellers are taking over and likely to break through support. So when it does break through support, like here, that's when I'd be really interested. So you're seeing this on a 30-minute, you go into the 1 minute, and you're seeing it here as well. Lower highs, breaking that support right there. This is a fractal pattern almost perfect. And off you go. So yeah, that's how I would read all this stuff.
Then what would be the target? The follow-up question.
Good, yeah, 30-minute chart. You have obvious buyers here. Would have put something down here to take it off. Big buyers down here to take it off. And well, you have obvious way down here, well, further up this area and here. So you can stagger out your partials, you know, but you can even do it something like 15 or 20% of your position at every buying level. Here, here, and then down here, and then down here. Or another way to do it is to pick one big one that makes most sense to you, like perhaps this one, because it really reversed from here. Buyers were aggressive here. So this area, you take out maybe 60% of your position and put little 5% partials to go here and further down. You could do it that way. That's more how I tend to do it. Put a major chunk at a level that I truly believe in, and then little partials in little areas and other areas, and then recycle. Like over here, since it may be breaking down from the buyers that I believed in, perhaps I'd recycle in this area if I see a reverse ABCD. Let's go back into the 1 minute where it is now. It broke the low here. This was a low day, broke. If it does a retest, I might add in more for the short and for the stop, bring the stop from wherever I entered up here and bring it into up here, down here. And that would be just, it would all be risk-free anyway. Bring the new break-even stop to over here. And let's see if it continues. So yeah, that's how I would manage all this. You know what? I'm actually a little fed up with this NinjaTrader platform. It's a bit of a nuisance. It's not smooth. It's after playing with TradingView a little bit last week, I realized, you know, it's smoother on that. I can actually hit the buttons without making mistakes.
Yeah, I thought you moved.
Yeah, I thought I thought I did, but I've been basically out of town for the last 3 days. I was off in the desert somewhere, totally off the grid, totally in a different headspace. Didn't even look at the markets. I'm back now, and yeah, I start exploring more of it this week. See how to get into it. There we go. What do we got, Martin? You're looking at M2K, M2K, Russell 2000. Oh, wow. So this was a breakout area we were talking about. Yesterday's high. Got there, got messy. Now it's sitting up there. Let's look at the 1 minute. Whoa, man, this makes my eyes hurt. Oh, somebody give me sunglasses. How can you trade this thing, man? On a 30-minute, it looked kind of tricky. And on a 1 minute, it's a disaster. I don't see any pattern, anything. Just leave it alone. Don't break your bank. You know, just don't. Please be careful. Oliver, you like the 30-minute? Use the 15 as well. Yeah, cool. Yeah, use whatever works for you, man. Whatever works. Most recently, a couple hours ago, I was just looking at TradingView again, trying to figure out its features and functions and whatever. And it came up with these tick charts. I remember Tariq was telling me about tick charts maybe a month ago. And then it came up with these footprint charts. And I realized, oh, man, yeah, a few years ago I came across that. Somebody was telling me about it. So these are all opportunities to explore. And they're both very interesting. Maybe they provide more insight if you use them correctly. So again, this is a nice time for me to go and explore these things and see if they're actually useful, where you can really identify where big buyers and sellers are about to begin a serious trend. Or also on the other side, where to exit a trade without having a target. Perhaps you're waiting for a really massive, someone on the opposite side of the market to come in. Like if you're long, you're waiting for a massive seller to come in. Maybe a tick chart can tell you that kind of information. Or a footprint chart. In which case you get into a position and it goes 50R before you even think about a partial. Wouldn't that be something? I think these are the opportunities that open up, potentially. So these are the questions in my mind right now. Can I really get into that kind of trading? Is it possible even? So I'm going to spend the time looking at this stuff, and of course I'll share with you whatever I find. So yeah, that's basically what I'm doing when I'm not sitting here chatting with you guys, looking at stuff like that. It's exciting, isn't it? It's fun. Again, it's the same mindset that got me to where I am with my trading. As we all, most of us got into trading with the scalping ORB stuff, and it was just never satisfactory. Or even if it was, you made some money, but you always realize that there's so much money left on the table. Bigger moves always happen later. So I started exploring, how do I catch those bigger ones and not get lost just getting excited at the open? So that kind of curiosity mindset drove me to my trading to where it is today, where it's a much bigger picture and using leverage, options, futures, all that stuff. And you guys all saw how big it became. So now I have the same mindset. I'm just looking to grow from this kind of trading that you've seen me do in the last year and a half or so, or 1 year, into something much bigger. So let's see where all this goes. Fun times, huh? Always exciting. Always fun. But yes, I do miss live trading. At some point, I'll get back into it. No rush. That's the key. No rush. All right, we'll end this recording here. I got something else to share with you guys. Where the button go?